What's up, everybody? Billy Felo here with Masterful Mechanics Baseball. This is Toss and Talk episode 2, and I'm here with Jeff Lougee. He's going to be a senior at Mechanicsburg, and he's committed to play shortstop, middle infield, right? At Duke University. So, Jeff, if you could just give us a little insight on kind of how you got recruited by Duke and the process there.
So, my recruiting started my 14U summer. I was playing with Team Elite down in Georgia, and I really hadn't been outside the Mid-Atlantic playing travel baseball yet. So when I went down there, we went to like the WWA, all the different perfect game stuff, and I performed well at this one tournament. Got I think a Twitter post actually from a perfect game scout, and then after that bunch of coaches were there, came and watched my next couple games, and that's the first time I actually met Duke. So after that, talked to all these different colleges. But COVID sort of like downed that because you couldn't really go on campuses. I got to sort of sneak on, see the baseball field until I really made my decision at the end of the summer, leading into my freshman year, that I decided I want to go play for Duke, and made that commitment right before school.
Nice. That's exciting, man. It's crazy how young it starts. You know, you're 14 years old. You're probably not even really thinking about college.
Nah.
And then, you know, you're getting looked at and you get to talk to guys. That's a great experience, you know?
Yeah. I mean, a little young, you think, but it worked out.
Yeah, but if they can see the raw talent, you know, and, you know, hopefully you have the build, you know, to get bigger and stronger. And, you know, I think that's what they look at a lot, is the athleticism, you know, and just your raw skills.
Yeah, no doubt.
So what do you think is your best attribute as a baseball player?
Hitting.
Hitting?
Yeah. I mean, definitely hit tool, gap to gap. Still working on the power a little bit, but we're getting there.
There you go. Like we were talking about earlier, getting in the weight room, eating right, you know, that'll get your power up. You hit lefty, correct?
Yeah. Hit left or right.
That's dope. Same as me.
There you go.
Yeah. So you were talking about you played a few like showcases / tournaments over the summer. Can you talk a little bit about that and kind of how you got involved and what that did for your game?
Yeah, so I started off my summer at the Perfect Game National event, and that was at Chase Field in Arizona.
Oh, that's dope.
So we got to play on the Major League field, and that experience was great. That was the first time I ever actually played a baseball game on a Major League field, and it's different. I mean, especially inside that dome there, it was crazy. So that was my first event.
Was that wood or metal?
Everything's wood. I don't think I've hit with a metal bat in travel baseball like over the summer since 13U.
Gotcha.
Because even when I was getting recruited, all that was wood, because I remember the posts and stuff all were with a wood bat. But after Arizona, I went to Hoover, Alabama for East Coast Pro, which is like a scout-led tournament / like games where face the best competition on the East Coast. So they choose from everything east of the Mississippi. And that was fun. Great experience. Especially, we got to stay in a hotel room with different players. They had like a lounge set up, Adidas did, with like ping pong tables. People were even getting their hair cut inside this lounge. I know one kid got a buzz cut mid-game because of the rain delay. So that was fun. And then I flew directly from Alabama to San Diego for the area code games, which is really the same thing as East Coast Pro, but whole country. So, and even a bunch of kids from Canada were on my team. So that's just like a bigger scale version, and a lot of West Coast scouts versus East Coast guys.
Nice. Isn't it cool how baseball is like such a camaraderie kind of thing, you know, like you meet guys, and some of these guys you'll stay in contact with, you know, and you'll end up being friends with them, you know, maybe your whole life, or at least for the next few years.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite parts about the game, is like meeting guys from all over the place, you know, and, you know, just being boys and, you know, being a good teammate, really.
Yeah, I mean, there's no time in any of these events like that someone you didn't know was mean to you, or like didn't have the same passion when playing. Even
Right, because
though
you're all there for the same reason.
Yeah, even though you weren't really a team necessarily, it still felt like you were.
All right, so what is your favorite part about baseball, about playing the game?
So, besides like the team aspect and getting to know all these guys, I'd have to say on the field, it's probably the competition between you and the pitcher every time you're up to bat. I mean, you only get maybe 4 at-bats a game, so you can't really waste one. And it doesn't matter the situation, just every time it's a competition between you and the pitcher, so you got to win that.
Yeah, that competitive factor is huge. Like, that's the one thing I missed about playing the game, you know, when I took a few years off. And just like I miss being competitive, you know, and I never got that same like adrenaline rush as, you know, being a pitcher, like striking a guy out, having a good outing. For you being a hitter, you know, hitting a double in the gap, hitting a home run, getting a clutch hit. Like, there's just no feeling like that in the world, you know?
Yeah.
And it's hard to get that anywhere else. And it's like, as baseball players, we're kind of like adrenaline junkies, you know, and we fiend for that competitive factor. So I'm the same way.
Yep.
So what is the hardest part about the game? What's the most difficult part about the game of baseball?
Well, it's definitely mental. Like, nothing physical is the hardest part. But it's everything else. I mean, like I said, you only get 4 at-bats per game. It's not like on a Friday night where you get the ball 20 times. You get the chance to do over or make up for like any mistakes. Like, that sort of goes away. You could have one ball in the infield all game and make an error. I mean, that's it.
Right.
So just being able to come back from that and like still put in the work and not give up on yourself.
So is there anything you do to work on the mental side of the game?
I've always been big on visualization.
Nice.
So like seeing what you're gonna do before it actually happens, knowing what's like to come, if you're like situational.
Yeah, and then that can like put you at ease, you know, because you visualize what you want to happen. So then you can just go out there and, you know, let it happen and let it play out.
Yeah.
And then that also relaxes your mind and your body and gets that mind-body connection too. So I'm big on visualization as well.
And then you're not really caught off guard if you already think about what's going to happen.
Exactly. You're prepared, right? And that's why a lot of big leaguers, you see them step out of the box, close their eyes, take a deep breath, you know, they're visualizing what they want to happen on that next pitch.
Yeah.
You know, and we try to instill that on the players, you know, as we coach them too. And I think that's important for youth athletes, you know, as well as high school, college, and professional. I think even, you know, the little league level can use visualization to help them.
Yep.
Do you play any other sports?
Played football. Past 2 years, I was our varsity quarterback. So I'm not playing this year, but that was definitely a fun experience.
So they're going to miss you, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. They'll be all right.
Was the coach upset that you weren't coming back?
A little bit, but he understood.
It's to focus on baseball and your schoolwork, right?
Yeah.
Obviously.
No doubt.
Because at this point, you know, you kind of got to focus on one thing, and you know, you're serious about baseball. That's a dope experience, though, to play on Friday nights.
I know. No, it's different. I mean, there's not much like it. But no, yeah, I played basketball until after my freshman year. I gave that up, and then I played soccer when I was younger. My dad coached soccer, so I was always big into that before baseball. And I wrestled because he wrestled too.
Oh, nice.
So I gave that up in middle school, but
You look like a wrestler, kind of.
Yeah, I was good. I mean, always wanted to go back, but never really had the time.
Do you think being a multi-sport athlete helped you in baseball specifically?
Yeah. I mean, whether it's like athleticism or just like character building.
Yeah.
I mean, multi-sports, like athletes always sort of have a different mindset, like in baseball, I think, than kids who just play it year round.
And then you're not getting burned out either.
Yeah.
You know, these kids play baseball every month out of the year almost, or at least are training and practicing, and like that's a lot for a young kid.
I mean, it's different whenever you're 17, 18, going into college. Right. But when you're 12, I feel like you can definitely get more burned out.
Exactly.
Just playing baseball year round.
Exactly. All right, last question. What piece of advice would you give to youth athletes who want to play, you know, at the high school, college, even professional level? What do you think would be something that you could give to them?
So, I would say get good grades, work hard off the field, and then put yourself in opportunities to get seen whenever you are on the field. Whether that's going to perfect game events, reaching out to coaches, just getting your name out there as early as you can, and whenever you feel that like you're physically ready to get looked at. Like I wouldn't, if you're younger and maybe not as developed as you want to be, don't start reaching out and putting yourself out there whenever in a year and a half you're going to be 20 pounds heavier.
Right.
And being able to really show who you are rather than what you are now, like what you will be.
So work on everything, and then when you're ready, then get out there, you know, and be proactive, right?
Yeah.
That's a good piece of advice. You got anything else you want to add, or are we smooth here?
I think we're pretty smooth.
All right, I think you did a great job. Thank you, dude.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
Good job, man.
Thank you.
You want to throw a little more?